Working Fans Podcast. Cool.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Coming down 3, 2.
Welcome back for another week of the Working Fans Podcast. This is AJ. I'm the former wrestler. We've got Dave, the ultimate fan, here with us. As we do every week, our producer Joe likes to make us sound good and makes us look way more professional than we actually are. As always, you can find us on Twitter, that's @FansWorking, Facebook, Working Fans Pod. We've got email where you can reach out to us and please contact us to let us know what you think of the podcast and for any ideas that you might have. That's workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. We're on Instagram where you can keep up with us at workingfanswrestling_pod. And then you can now listen to us on all major platforms, including Anchor.fm. We're on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Apple Podcasts, and you can actually check us out on YouTube. Now, it's important when you go onto the Apple Podcasts and YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a rating, let us know what you think so you can help us out and we can continue to do what we love and bring you guys in as fans.
Yo, this is number one, John Silver. I'm talking about the meat man. I'm talking about that big boy. And of course, you know I'm talking about the raw dog. And you're listening to the Working Fans Podcast.
This is the Working Fans Podcast. It's the number one fan, Dave, producer Joe. And today we got one of the best independent wrestlers in the game, Mr. John Silver. John, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
Great. So, basic question to start off with, John. What are your earliest memories of wrestling, and how'd you break in, and how did this all start?
Early memories of wrestling. I'm 28 right now, so I got like Attitude Era, and like right before the Attitude Era was like those are my main memories. So like earliest stuff I remember was like Shawn Michaels was on top. I think like my biggest memory of like childhood memory was the Stone Cold versus Shawn Michaels feud. That's like the peak of my childhood was then.
Yeah, actually, I went to see WrestleMania 14 in Boston. It was Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin. That was good stuff.
Oh shit, awesome. I had a kid, so where I was in, I don't know, first, second, third grade around there, there was a kid that he was a wrestling fan, and you'd think like we'd get along with wrestling fans, but I fucking hated him because he was a big Shawn Michaels fan, and I was a big Stone Cold fan. So I was like, so we had this big feud, we hated each other, but eventually like became like best friends because we're like, we both like wrestling, let's just be friends then. so that's one of my earliest memories right there. Obviously, after that, too, Attitude Era. But I was always, like, a big Stone Cold guy growing up, Undertaker. But eventually, like, moving forward, I always had different people. I would start to, like, Jeff Hardy down the line. Then it became, like, Kurt Angle, Jericho. My earliest memories was definitely, like, that early, right before the Attitude Era, like, started, but, like, right there.
I was going to laugh if you told me that kid was Alex Reynolds.
No. Alex is a little older than me. He's a few years older than me. I met Alex when we both joined the wrestling school right around the same time. I think he started maybe 2 weeks before me. That's how I met Alex.
Awesome. What school did you go to? How did you get trained? How did that break in?
I started at NYWC in Long Island, and I came across it because I was on a MySpace wrestling fan page, really a forum basically, and I was 14 at the time, so I'm like, let's just see if there's any wrestling schools in the area. So I put out like a post, and hey, does anyone know any good wrestling schools in Long Island? And someone's like, yeah, there's NYWC, it's in Deer Park, Long Island, and the head trainer is Mikey Whipwreck.
Huh.
So I'm like, oh shit, let me check that out. So, I mean, we hit them up, we called them, and they're like, yeah, we usually train people, we start usually around 16, but like you can come down and check out the school. So I went down and checked out the school, and it just so happened that they were doing shut the top rope that day. So they had the crash pad app, doing backflips, machine stars, and stuff like that. So I was like, oh damn, this looks awesome. So I was there with my mom, and I was always an athlete, and I was just, at the time, it was like amateur wrestling season, so I was in shape. And they were like, yeah, since you're like an athlete, you're a wrestler, we'll let you start training now if you want. So you got signed up that way.
What other sports did you do?
Amateur wrestling, I played soccer also. Those are the main ones I played, like a national team.
Yeah.
But, like, I grew up on my block. I just happened to have, like, maybe, like, 8 kids around the same age. So, like, we, like, played football, like, every sport, like, every day. Like, we're always, every day we're outside playing some kind of sport. So, I was, like, just always athletic, always active, always doing stuff. But soccer and wrestling are my 2 sports growing up.
I mean, those are both great conditioning stuff, too, so.
Oh, yeah, definitely helps.
So, when you broke in, like, who were some of the people who really took care of you in the beginning?
So, I guess, like, the people that were in charge of doing stuff, Mikey obviously was a trainer who, at least, like, as a kid, I wasn't a big ECW fan just because I didn't know much about it. I didn't know when it was on. I didn't know how to watch it. That's when, like, I know it sounds weird, but that's when the internet was, like, everyone just goes on the internet for everything right now.
Right.
Like, back then, kind of like, you knew the internet, you could use the internet, but, like, on, like, websites, like, I don't even understand those. I was young, too. I wouldn't think you wouldn't say that, but I wouldn't, like, I knew people, but, like, it wasn't always on the internet looking up, like, YouTube videos. Like, YouTube was young still then, so it wasn't like you could just find everything as easy as it was now. So, like, I watched stuff on Mikey, though, and I was, like, terrified of him, and he was, like, pretty intimidating, even though he's very nice, but he's very intimidating. So, yeah, I actually forgot what the question was. What's the question again?
Who's some of the guys who took care of you? That's all.
Oh, okay, so I had, I think right off the bat, was probably Trent from W. He was there for maybe like 8 months or a year until he was signed by WWE for a while. So he was there. He was always like super nice to me. I had my first practice match against him, and just like I didn't, lose in practice. He messed around. He like had me do like a code red and some other stuff. And I was like 14, 15 years old. So he was always really good to me. Early on, I don't know who. Maybe early on, I think a lot of people were nice to me. I think some people like. Were like, I was the test dummy back then. So I joined, I was 110 pounds. So people tried their moves on me. So I'm trying to think of who like really looked out for me and who just like tried moves on me. But down the line, like people like Dan Barry, looked out for me. A lot of people were really nice to me there. Some people like stopped wrestling or did other stuff. But I'm trying to think of people that are still like around and available. Trent was definitely the first one. I like the older guys. So I was like, oh shit, he's been super nice to me. I was like his little brother. He used to say I look just like his little brother. He was the main one, I think, right off the bat.
It's kind of funny because like you talk to like some of like a lot of the old timers in the business, and you hear how rough it was. And not that it's not rough or tough now, but it seems like there's a lot more people willing to help now. Like everybody's a lot more thankful and grateful to have people around and help them in the business.
It's definitely not as crazy. Even wrestling now, from when I started. From back in the day is like a completely different, but even from like now to when I started was completely different.
Yeah.
Like when I started, it was still like we had classes where we got our asses kicked constantly. Now you really can't. You can't do that, and it's probably better that you don't do that to an extent. I mean, you're still gonna like. It used to be like the reason they beat your ass did that so that the people that were tough enough and deserved to be in the ring could do it. And I guess it makes sense because you got a lot of people that really don't deserve to be in the ring that are still doing this. But you can't really just beat people up. I don't know. It's a whole different, the business just changed completely, which is fine. I'm not, I'm not knocking that at all.
No, I hear you. And it's a different time in life, too, now, too, than it's been in the last 10 years, too. So
different times,
I was going to ask you, I did my homework, actually. We were talking about YouTube. I was looking up some matches of you before we did this, and I've seen you live at a few Beyond shows too. What are some other promotions you've worked for?
I've done a whole bunch, obviously, but like on a consistent level. I mean, I started at MWC, so that was like my first place I was ever at. That's in Long Island. And I had done Chikara for a while. I was at I still am at CZW, Beyond Wrestling, Limitless Wrestling. For a little while, we were at PWG, Evolved, AIW for a little while as well. Definitely was around, and like I kind of got to do a whole bunch of cool stuff. When I was younger, I used to only just do MWC because I just didn't know any better, I guess, to like not move on, but like to branch out.
Yeah.
And also, when I was young, when I started, I was like 14, 15, 16. Like YouTube was still pretty young, and like when I looked up like indie wrestling, so I didn't really know too much about indie wrestling. I would see videos of like CZW and like ROH and people doing like some insane shit, like CZW is super bloody and violent, and ROH, like, you see, like, people with Plato suplexes on their head, crazy shit. So I was like, damn, I don't want to do this. And I was a young kid, so I'm like, these guys are going to kick my ass if I start going to these companies. So I was like, I didn't want to. So I think I started branching out when I was like 18, maybe a little past like 18, 19, and I started to kind of branch out a little bit. But I got lucky around like 20. I think I was 20 when I started doing Jakara. It was like a tryout type thing. And me and Alex, they had it was really weird. It was a tryout with all the wrestlers, but all the guys that were watching, which all the Jakara wrestlers and the people running it, still had like their masks on and stuff.
Huh.
So it was like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah.
But everyone else, I think they did it because I think some of the people that were chosen for the tryout were like, couldn't even be fans. They were so trash. Like they were did not know the basics of wrestling. They were so bad. So me and Alex obviously stood out way better than everyone else. So we got used for Chikara, and we had to go down to train with them for a little bit. So that was cool too. At the beginning, I started branching out with Evolve, and then I started to Evolve at the same time. So it was Evolve and Chikara, which is pretty cool.
Hey John, it's Joe here. Being from Connecticut, I just started getting into indie wrestling again a few years ago, and one of the first places my buddy brought me was Beyond Wrestling. And your style really stood out because you're hard-hitting, but you also have a sense of humor in the ring. I was wondering what you could tell us about Beyond Wrestling, and what was that American Rana that was held at Foxwoods this year like?
I guess it started out just being a place, and I remember hearing about it when I was like young. It was just a place that they had just tapings, so they just put it all on the YouTube, I believe. And it was just people, like wrestlers wrestling in front of other wrestlers, and they just put that on the internet. And I was like, I didn't understand it because I had at one point I did a show actually with John Gresham, and he was like pitching, you should go to Beyond Wrestling. And I think we said we should tag together because we're both short, muscular guys with buzzed heads. And so he's like, we look kind of alike, so we should team together. And I just didn't understand it. I'm like, I don't know, this sounds dumb, I don't know, I don't know if that's stupid. And then fast forward, eventually I started doing live shows and other stuff like that. And it just looked like awesome place to wrestle. And you get a lot of freedom there, you get to kind of do what you want. And the crowds there are always a lot of fun. So it's just a place where all different types of wrestling is welcome. A lot of places have their niche vibe, I guess. They I don't even know if they have a niche vibe. They have, people like Nick Gage there. They're doing crazy matches. They have, great, fantastic technical wrestlers there. They have, funny guys. People do comedy like, Orange Cassidy. So they just kind of have a whole bunch of stuff, and they put a lot of dream matches together. And right now, what they're doing is called Uncharted Territory. So they run a weekly show, just like Raw, SmackDown, AEW, and it's on every Thursday. I'll be there tomorrow. I'm wrestling Daniel Garcia tomorrow, and it's on Independent TV. I don't know the exact website.
Independent Wrestling TV, actually, and I will definitely be watching. I watch most every Thursday.
Awesome. Those shows are awesome. They're a lot of fun, and there's always different shit, new wrestlers to watch. So I always recommend it because even some people I've never heard of or don't know much about, and they'll show up, and I'm like, yeah, because they have people on all the time. And sometimes they put on some awesome matches, or sometimes Beyond will just put together matches that you never would see anywhere else, and they're pretty cool to see.
That Discovery Gauntlet I thought was an interesting idea, and it's really gotten us familiar with some names that we wouldn't have previously heard about.
Yeah, definitely. Brings in new people, like I said, some of those people I've never really have heard of or seen pictures of. I've never seen them work, and I'm like, oh, okay, they're actually pretty good. So it's pretty cool to see new people like that. But the American Rana of the Foxes is pretty cool. The place is pretty huge. A lot of fans there, so it was awesome. And I wrestled Alex, but we had a really good match to beat each other up. So that's pretty fun.
That had a really good storyline going in, and that's why I like that Beyond has their TV show, because you can line up stories to a big show like that. Like you versus Alex Reynolds, it's one of the matches I was more invested in, so I was looking forward to it at the show.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's with indie wrestling, it's hard to sometimes have a storyline where feuds look good, because if you see a show once a month, it's hard to really know what's going on again. At least on Uncharted Territory, there's shows every week, and even if there's I'm not there every single week, but even if I miss a week, I'll be there, in 2 weeks. So everything's still pretty fresh in your head. so you know what's going on.
You know, it's funny. I saw that match with you and Reynolds too, and I was thinking like, Reynolds is a great heel, but I really liked your heel work too. But I've seen you do both. You've been a babyface and a heel. Do you have a preference to what you like to do?
Yeah, it's funny because Alex is a good heel, is a really good heel, and I'm a really good babyface. So we came together. So there's times I gotta be a heel, and there's times I'm a babyface. I prefer to work as a baby. I think it's a natural babyface. I obviously don't mind doing either. I'm definitely more of a natural babyface.
You know, it's funny. I would agree, but I would tell you, I saw some match with you, and I'm blanking out. It was a live show. It was an intergender match, and you did this cheap shot clothesline, and you celebrated like you won the gold medal in the Olympics. And I thought that was the best thing, man. It was a great heel move, honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah, your intergender matches and beyond have been amazing. That's where I think I've seen some of the better heel work. Now, we interviewed Jay Freddy last week, and your name came up as someone he likes traveling with. What can you tell us about working with him in the Thick Boys tag team up in Limitless? And what can you say about Jay Freddy in general?
I love Jay. We get along really well, obviously, with big party boys. And eventually, I do Limitless, and Randy came up to me. Actually, he messaged me, and he's like, hey, I think about putting you and Jay together. What do you think? I'm like, perfect. So I hit up Jay. I'm like, hey, Jay, we're going to be the Thick Boys. He's like, absolutely perfect. So we don't do a lot of, traveling together because he's an upstate guy, and I'm from Long Island. And it's actually, I know it's like the same state, but he's like pretty far away from me. Every year we go to Ocean City now, Ocean City, Maryland, to party. And that's, we get pretty crazy, get pretty drunk. Pretty crazy stuff happens. And it's usually a good drinking buddy, Yeah.
So, you guys fit together real good as a tag team. You really hit hard, and just the teamwork.
Yeah, so, that's why it was funny for a while. I was tagging with both Alex and Jay on different shows. I think, personality-wise, in-ring personality-wise, me and Jay fit very good together. They're very similar. But I think me and Alex, and because of we've known each other for so long, and we just take, I think, our best stuff as in-ring matches as a tag team. So we had that chemistry that way. I love Jay. I love tagging with Jay. I love tagging with Alex. But it's cool. It's two different things. So it was you have to be creative with both, which is pretty cool.
It was really cool to see you pop up on AEW a couple weeks ago. How did that come about?
Yeah, we got hit up by Young Buck, and they said, hey, we want to bring you in for AEW. So it's awesome. Well, we're definitely in. So it's really cool there. I actually have it on the TV as I'm talking to you guys right now. It's a really fun place. It's chill. It's very relaxed. Everyone's still there to work really hard, which is awesome. And we'll definitely be back.
Awesome.
It's a good thing.
Nice. Yeah, it was definitely good to see you guys on there. What are your plans kind of going forward in the business? Do you have any immediate goals coming up?
Immediate goals coming up. So I think my goal right now is just to be there full time, be at AEW full time, and that's the main one. Once we accomplish that, then we'll make new goals. But me and Alex, we talked about some stuff in our future. Cause we've had companies talk to us and hit us up, and I think we kind of both agreed that AEW might be the place to be.
It's awesome, man. Is there anything that you want to promote and tell people where they can find you?
The main things I want to promote, I guess, would be Uncharted Territory, Beyond Wrestling, IndependentTV.com. Is that what it was again?
Yes.
Independent Wrestling TV.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Go to the website, sign up, use promo code BEYOND, I believe it is, I hope.
Yep.
I think you get a week or month or something like that. I don't know. I'm really bad at promoting this. But jump up there and check it out. There's a lot of cool wrestling on there. Even if it's not just Beyond, there's other stuff you can watch as well. ECW, I'll be there. All their shows pretty much. And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. And my handle is kind of annoying. It is Silver. Number is spelled out. And then just the one. And I like to post some stuff, some funny stuff, random memes sometimes. I don't know. I just try to be stuff that, random stuff I like to do, I guess.
Yeah, you're a good follow, man. I follow you, and you do some stuff on Instagram. I saw you singing some opera music one day in the car. It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, I do some car singing sometimes. I'll post some memes. I like to do posts for dumb pictures sometimes. Yeah, I'll post some random stuff, but check me out on there.
Yeah, good luck to you in AEW, and we'll look forward to seeing you both in AEW and beyond. Have a good night, bud.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Good talking to you.
All right, awesome. Have a good night, John. Thank you.
All right, so that wraps us up for this week. Thank you again for listening to the Working Fans Podcast. So as always, you can find us on Twitter at FansWorking. Our Facebook page is Working Fans Wrestling Pod. We have email where you can reach out to us and let us know what you think also. That's workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, workingfanswrestling_pod. And then as always, please continue to listen to us on Anchor.fm, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, all your major platforms. If you're following us on Apple Podcasts, which we are also on now, and YouTube, please make sure you subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. It helps us bring you these podcasts where we get to talk to you and talk with you every week.